Today I'm going to show you how to get road trip ready with me. Now, it doesn't matter if you are just going down the street or if you're going to be going around Australia. This is going to be a pretty simple tutorial on how to get either your classic, your brand new car, or whatever you drive ready to go wherever you're going. Alrighty, so these are going to be the main components of what you're going to need. So I like to go over all my fluids. Now these are the three kind of essential fluids to check, especially if you've got an automatic transmission. Now I like to check my engine oil, my transmission fluid, and most definitely my coolant. These are going to be the main ones that are pretty easy to check and don't require a lot of time and or money. These are pretty cheap. Engine oil I think you can get for $30-40 for a big can like that. Coolant's just as cheap. Transmission should be about just the same. So it's all very easy, cheap things to do. Now also today I'm going to be using this pillow. You can also use carpet, cardboard, whatever you like, and that's going to be so I can lay on the floor and have a look underneath the car for anything that I probably don't want to be seeing. And then for our final bit of getting ready is giving the car a bit of a clean up. The car is looking a little bit dirty and inside does need a very good clean. So these are going to be the main bits for getting your car ready. So let's start getting into it. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the bonnet open. Now on most cars you will find a little something that looks like this, either with a bonnet on it or something aligning to such a thing. They are normally down the bottom here. All you got to do, pull that, and then your bonnet will pop open. Now, under the bonnet, depending on what car you have, maybe your engine's at the front or the back, depends on the car, but you will find your engine. Now, your engine will have certain dipsticks to find your different fluids, as well as your radiator. Now, make sure with your radiator, you have not run the car, because you will get pressure built up. You do not want to open that when there's pressure. That will blow up and you can get some very severe burns, if not more terrible things from it. So make sure your car is not warm. So first thing we're going to check is we're going to check our oil. Now oil is very easy to check, and as you can see our oil is a little bit dark and a little bit low, so I'm going to top that up first. Let's do that. Alright, so topping up oil on these engines is really easy. All it is just taking that little cap off. Now in some cars, especially smaller cars, it is a lot harder to get to the oil fill cap. So I like to use a little funnel like this. It gets the job done really well. But because this engine is so easily accessible, all I have to do is get my bottle and just fill it up like so. Now, depending on your engine will take different types of oil. So this engine likes to normally take 20W50 just because it is an older engine, but some newer cars like to run, let's say, 0W30. Now the easiest way to find out is either on Google or by looking at your owner's manual. This car never had an owner's manual, so I've always relied on Google or word of mouth. So just look it up online or have a look inside your owner's manual, which normally is in your glove box. Alright, so our next oil to top up is our transmission fluid. Now with transmission fluid, from what I'm aware of, you have to have the car running and in park. Now this fills up the torque converter, which is the little connector between the engine and the transmission. Now I know that the fluid in here is good, but if you do want to have a good proper test of it, get the car up to temp. Let's say you just go around the block, then double check that there should be a full line on it. Now a lot of newer cars do have a hot and a cold mark. Obviously if the car's cold, follow the cold marking, and if it's the hot, then follow the hot. But for this instance, I know that transmission is full, so that's all good to go. Now our final fluid to check is our coolant. So let's have a look inside. So it is a little bit dark in there, a little bit cruddy. Now I know this engine, the block was a little bit dirty and it does like to fill up the radiator, but we're just going to top up that just a little bit, and we're also going to top up our overflow. So let's do that. Now again, All engines and cars do vary a bit. This is a very, very simple car to work on and to fill up fluids on, if I don't spill it. Now, some cars do not have a radiator cap like this one. They will just have an overflow like this. Now, it might not look exactly the same as this. It might be a bit hidden away, but you do need to make sure that that is full. Now, same thing as the radiator cap, make sure that that doesn't get open while it's hot, because if it does, then you can run into issues with it blowing up in front of your face, which you really do not want. So, we're gonna make sure that stays there. I'm just gonna top that up. Now, it was a little bit low. Just gonna fill it up to there. And that is our coolant done. So that's all our major fluids all complete. So that is all of it for the engine bay. Now you can do your diff oil, I wouldn't worry about it. That's a very rare thing you have to fill up. I haven't worried about it in this. These diffs were known to be good, so haven't had to worry about that. And especially if you're just going for a little road trip, you don't need to worry about that. If you're going around Australia, definitely something you have to be looking to. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a whole visual check on the car. So we're going to look for any major leaks, which I can see a couple, but they're not going to really matter too much. I just keep topping up the oil. Also just checking underneath the car, which I'm going to go grab the pillow now. Alright, got the pillow out now, and we can use this to lie down and have a look underneath the car. So as you can see, it's pretty good under here. I'm just looking for anything that might, let's say, be rubbing. So an easy way to tell is just a very shiny point or shiny metal. If you see that, it's probably not a good sign unless it's supposed to be like that. Now it all looks pretty good under here. I'm pretty happy with it. I do know that the exhaust is rubbing a little bit, which might have to be something for another day, but for a road trip, not going to bother. So it's all pretty good under there. Let's have a look at doing a bit of a clean now. Alright, now that we've checked all our fluids, made sure that the car is safe underneath, we're going to move on to doing a bit of a clean now. I've just got this Ryobi vacuum here. Seems to get the job done and can get most of the stuff out of the interior. And then for the exterior, I've just got this Armor All bucket with some washing liquid and also a sponge. Super simple, you don't need the world's most expensive tools. This was, I think, 20 bucks at Autobarn. So super cheap, super simple. All you need is a hose now, and then just wet the whole thing down, clean up all the mud with the sponge and soap, and then wash it all off. Super simple, and then we'll do a vacuum. Let's get onto it. All right, our almost final step. Just a little bit of soap, and we're gonna load it up. Water. And then we're going to give the Z a much needed wash. And that's the Z cleaned up. Now let's move on to a little bit of vacuuming inside of the cab. Alright, and that's the vacuuming done. As you can see, pretty good. I have noticed though I've got a bit of water building up in the corners, which could be something to do with the windscreen still leaking a little bit. I'll have to look into that a bit, but other than that, interior is looking nice and clean. So the final step is to start her up. All right, here we go. Couple pumps to the accelerator. She runs like a kitten. Now let's not forget the very final step, and that is to actually go on your road trip. So pop your car into gear, take your handbrake off, and go for a drive. And just like that, that's my very simple beginner's guide to getting your car ready to go for a road trip. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it's given you a little bit of an idea on what to do if you want to go on that one road trip you've been planning for a very long time, or if you're just wanting to see how I do a little bit of maintenance on this HZ. So if you liked today's video, make sure to leave a like. Make sure you also leave a comment if you, I don't know, let's say you've done some maintenance yourself. And also don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate the help on the channel. It goes a very long way. So again, till next time, I shall see you on the road.